and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Urban Decay Cherry Palette. If you do want to see a review and swatches, please keep watching. This Urban Decay Naked Cherry Palette, I said that I was not going to be purchasing. I do have a couple of pinky tone shades in my collection. They are in my Z palette. Some brands that I do have from my single eyeshadows are from Makeup Forever, Anastasia. I do have a couple of ColourPop shades in there. I did not need any more of those shadows in my collection. I figured those are probably expired, so I tossed those away and I purchased this palette instead. I wanted to freshen up my collection, so I ended up picking the Urban Decay Naked Cherry Palette. So let's open this up. So when you open up the packaging, here's what the actual eyeshadow palette does look like. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen this all over YouTube and seen some other reviews, but I myself have not tried this out. I love the little cherries here in the background. It's super cute. And then, oops, it does come with a dual-ended pencil brush. When you open up the eyeshadow palette, here you have 12 different shadows, and then you do have a huge mirror at the top. I'm going to jump right into the swatches. The first shade in the collection is called Hot Spot. This is an ivory matte shadow. Wow, that is extremely buttery in the pan. That's a gorgeous shade. Here we have the shade in Hot Spot. That's an ivory matte shadow. The next shadow in the collection is called Caution. This shade is a soft neutral beige matte shadow. Again, another very soft, buttery eyeshadow. Look at that. Very pigmented these two shades are. The next shadow is called Bang Bang. This is a shimmering pink shade. This shade was a little bit chalky in the pan. The next shadow is called Feelz. This is a dusty rose matte shade. Here we have the shade Feelz. That's a gorgeous matte shade. The next shade is called Juicy. This is a soft, warm peach shadow. Extremely buttery in the pan. That's another gorgeous matte shade. Next shade is called Turn On. And this shadow is a pale metallic with rose shimmer. A little bit scratchy in the pan. But even though it's scratchy, it's pigmented. The next shade is called Ambitious, and this is a rose copper shade. Wow, this is extremely buttery. Buttery, pigmented, a little bit chalky, but it did swatch very nicely. The next shadow is called Bing. And this shade is a deep mauve matte shadow. This is not as creamy and buttery as the other previous matte shades were. Again, a little bit scratchy in the pan. But it is very pigmented. The next shade in the collection is called Devilish, and this shade is a reddish-plum matte shadow. Not as buttery. A little bit scratchy. Not as much pigmented as the other shadows. We can probably blend this shadow out. Okay, I can see that shadow working. The next shade is called Young Love. This shade is a metallic cranberry shade. A little bit scratchy. But wow, it's pigmented. It's scratchy in the pan, but very pigmented. The next shade in the collection is called Drunked Out. This shade is a deep metallic burgundy shadow. Very buttery in the pan. Very pigmented. And the last shade in the collection is called Privacy. This shade is a deep brownish-plum matte shadow, and not as creamy as the previous matte shades either. A little bit scratchy in the pan as well. And here's what the shade Privacy looks like. And here we have all 12 shadows swatched on the back of my hand. So now we're going to be creating a look using this eyeshadow palette. Here's what the dual-ended brush does look like. It does have a flat end and a fluffy end. The first shade I'm going to be picking up is the shade Feelz. I'm going to be blending this shade all over my crease. I love this shadow in Feelz because it's that soft, dusty rose shade. The brush is really good quality, and this eyeshadow palette retails for $49. I purchased mine at Ulta, but it is available at Sephora, Macy's, and wherever Urban Decay is sold. I'm I'm liking how that did blend into the crease. The next shade I'm going to be picking up is the shade Ambitious, and I'm going to be packing that all over my lid. I love how pigmented this eyeshadow is, and I did not have to use any Fix Plus or anything to wet this brush. I'm using the other side. This I was already fluffed in, and I'm definitely going to blend these two shadows together. I love this coppery shade. It does have a little bit of fallout, but we can clean that up later on. And I'm just packing this shade on. I'm just doing soft and gentle. I'm using soft pressure. I'm loving how these two shades do blend very well together. I'm going to be using the fluffy side of the brush, and I'm going to blend these two shadows together. I'm just going to be taking my finger in Ambitious, and I'm going to be packing this shadow on again. I definitely think using my finger really did amp up the shadow. I'm going to be using my finger and just patting this on my lid. I'm just going to clean up the fallout and I'll be right back. I tried to dust away as much fallout as I could. I'm just going to be taking a pencil brush and I'm just going to detail my outer V. I did pick up the shade in Privacy. I want to create some kind of depth to this look, so I'm just going to place this in the crease. I wanted to place it originally in my outer V, but I decided to drag it up to the crease a little bit more just to create some depth. Like, look at that. Instead of like a wing, maybe bringing it out a little bit and then tightening it. Not all the way, but to the center. But I'm not sure what I want to do. I think that's exactly how I'm going to keep it. It looks like a cat eye, but not really. I just dragged the shadow up halfway, and then I connected it a little bit into my crease. I know what I'm saying probably doesn't make any sense. I'm not a makeup artist, so I'm not sure what this technique would be, but it looks good. I'm just going to be doing the same thing for my other eye. Hopefully it does match up. What I did earlier, so I just removed it with a makeup wipe and I just went over it using my damp beauty blender because I did not really like how that looked and I'm not sure what I was going for, you guys. So we're just gonna scratch the shade in Privacy. I knew I should have just left the look, but I wanted to add more makeup just to see what it will look like. I think I'm just gonna leave the shade Privacy in my outer edges just to add some definition. But I think that's all I'm really going to do to this look. I am going to be adding the champagne-y shade in Turn On in my inner corner. I'm just going to be using the same Urban Decay brush. This is how the look did turn out. I really do like this Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. I do like how the majority of the shadows in this eyeshadow palette are very buttery and pigmented. I'm super excited to create some looks using this eyeshadow palette. I definitely think it's worth the $49. If you guys do have similar shades like this in your collection, I don't think it's a must-have in your collection. Because I was decluttering my collection, I just decided to purchase this because I was getting rid of some of my older shadows that I had like for years. So this is actually a really good eyeshadow palette and I would highly recommend. You guys are probably wondering what lip color I am wearing. This is by ColourPop. This is in the shade Frick and Frack. I actually found this matte liquid lipstick in my collection when I was decluttering it and I was like, wow, I haven't worn this shade in forever. So I decided to wear this during this video. I really do like how this lip color did bring the look together. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.